Heavy clashes rock the southern Gazan city of Rafah as Israel pushes ahead with its assault against Hamas. The United Nations says 800,000 people, more than a third of Gaza's population, have been displaced from the area, despite having nowhere to go. The northern part of the Strip is also under fire. In Jabalia, Israeli tanks roll through the devastated streets. Inside Israel, thousands joined the weekly anti-government protests in Tel Aviv. They want the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, to resign and new elections to be called.
A fresh round of missile provocations from the north. The regime appears to have launched multiple short-range ballistic missiles toward the East Sea from the easternmost city of Wonsan. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff detected the launch at around 3:10 p.m. Friday and estimated that the missiles traveled around 300 kilometers. The launch comes more than 3 weeks after the North conducted firing drills involving 600mm super-large multiple rocket launchers. It also comes a day after the leaders of Russia and China met in Beijing for a summit, where they issued a joint statement opposing Washington and its allies' quote, acts of military intimidation against the regime.
The president of Georgia, Zalume Zurabishvili, has vetoed the country's recently passed transparency law. Speaking to a room full of reporters in Tbilisi, she said she nixed the controversial bill, also known as Russian law, as it contradicts the Georgian constitution and poses a risk to the country's accession into the European Union. The law, which has prompted weeks of protests, would require media and NGOs to register if they receive more than 20% of their funding from abroad. Critics say the act targets media freedom and closely resembles legislation used by the Kremlin to silence opponents.
More than 400,000 people in Texas are without power. The National Weather Service now reporting what they call a derecho, packing powerful straight-line winds gusting up to hurricane strength, ripped through Houston this week. The death toll rising to at least 7 people. Large trees coming down, homes and buildings destroyed. The destruction so extensive, one city official saying some of those power outages could last weeks. A tornado touching down in Pittsburgh on Friday, winds gusting more than 100 miles per hour. And tonight, growing concern as a heat wave expands across the region. Temperatures feeling like the triple digits.
Cars and houses submerged by heavy rains, and streets left underwater. After the worst flooding in nearly 3 decades hit the German state of Saarland. Emergency services have responded to thousands of requests for help. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz visited the affected region, and he said his government would pave the way for a quick recovery.